2023, and I wanted to come on, and honestly, I'm probably gonna vent a little bit, but it'll be new information for a lot of you, and talk about the astronomy that's lined up today. If you go to my tacos, which is what I call TikTok, you'll see we have two diamonds that are on a face-off right now, opposite each other. Venus holding the root of the diamond that's been in the chart for 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even longer, which is even why Virgo, the sun is still in Virgo right now. And it's grounded by Venus. It's grounded by us, the Ascended Collective. If you've been on this healing journey, even if you didn't make it all the way out, because there was only 2 in the whole world made it all the way out of this thing. It went way deeper than anybody or any being could have ever possibly imagined. It's like going into a house that's had trash put in it for 1,000,000 years and nobody ever cleaned it up. And they just kept throwing trash on top of it, throwing trash on top of it, throwing trash on top of it, to the extent where the original house and all the trash was underground 50,000 feet. And then you didn't even realize that and this is all of us, we were building a foundation on top of an old trash mound over and over and over and over again. And this started in after-death timelines. It really started before that in BC timelines, but in after-death timelines, the other diamond is rooted by Neptune. And Neptune is your subconscious. And Epstein, your financial system, all the collective black magic, death spells, handling systems, RH negative systems, Masonic systems, Dragon Order systems, every single bit of it was which in the end, and in days, they did finally take over Neptune. Your subconscious. To the extent in the last 3-4 years, they took over 4D. Which is your dream space. And the battles and the even the strange puzzles that I've had to get out of, and these pyramid systems that we've had to get out of, and unbinding our bodies, and all these freaking things that we've had to do as a spiritual collective that can see the unseen, was all done with Neptune. Now, in the chart, what's happening too is that this Neptune diamond has a huge angle, a 90-degree angle going straight over to Saturn and down. The Venus diamond is clear. Both of them have access to the Scorpio energy that's happening right now, which I talked about in the video right before this. And so what is happening is these collective timelines that I've been talking over here for 2 to 3 years about the 44 timeline versus the 33 timeline. It's like 2 movie projectors are starting to show now. And these 2 movie projectors the Neptune projectors still got their weird little light with a light bulb. The Neptune projector is still going to have their weird little light with a little light bulb. They're going to need electricity to plug it in. They're going to have film. They're going to have actors. They're going to have a studio. They're going to have to, right? Your Venus projector is all us starseeds. It's all us starseeds just shining, lighting up, and projecting a real-time reality that's live. The Neptune one's going to be scripted. The Neptune one's going to be like what we just came out of. Walking through it. Because all of us who walk this last vector Pisces, you're very well aware of what the subconscious can manifest. Because honestly, in the United States and the people that I've met and traveling and with the family and even with the conscious healers that I was around, I would beg to say that it'd probably be at least 80 to 85% of the people who even were doing harm to us had no idea. Because they were just hooked into a subconscious program, or they were being handled or trapped in an old mindset, or being completely screwed with to try to get to you, most likely, if they're around one of us. And what's really come online is these NPC background players. What's really come online in the past few days is understanding what the hell just happened in the past 4 years. If you go back and read, I rewrote an intro to this channel, and it's, hey, we're just trying to figure out what the hell's been going on down here. And then we developed Cohu 32 with all the research and development and thousands of charts and walking through it. And then we jumped into the modality, started using it. Then we freaking started blowing portals, jumping timelines, freaking traveling to the sun back down and all that mess, moving, blipping out around all over the cosmos. And now we're back down here. Just over the past 48 hours, you might feel like that. Like, wait a minute, where have I been? And we're still just now trying to figure out what's going on down here, right? But these non-player characters that Dolores Cannon describes, you know, are, and I never really understood it to the degree until we got done. And their consciousness rings that are here to help humans ascend so that we'll have people to play off of and pass tests. But they don't have a soul. They work in tandem. This is, you know, Hollywood, any type of cults, things like that. Because what you end up doing is playing parts, playing roles for a common purpose. And when you're dealing with starseeds, what you're dealing with is starseed physics. And what we didn't know is that all the mechanics and all the measurement tools that are down here, your weather, your heart, your financial systems, even your risk calculators, I mean, freaking everything. Everything that's dealing with money, time, weather, finance, everything is made, and the mechanics were used with starseed physics. Because us starseeds and ancients that were down here were the ones making the energy always. Always. And everybody forgot. Everybody forgot or didn't care. That other 20% that is purposely unconscious in order to ringlead these NPC collectives in order to test us, can birth souls. They can. They can birth the soul. They can birth the heart. There's no being down here that cannot ascend. but it's a choice. And it's money. That's it. That's the reason. If you want to know why your bed is cold, if you want to know why you're not in twin union, it's because of money. Now, I'm going to have to give my men a hard time on this video, but I need my men to understand first and foremost that every single bit of healing that the feminines have done, and even the fact that y'all got an extra 2 to 3 years to attempt to fix it and get a little bit more time and save more people, because we were set to ascend this bitch back in 2018. I know, because my crew had gotten out. We went back in to get some more people because there might have been 5,000 people down here, and that's it. That's it. When we went back in, we almost didn't get out. So you can promise we ain't never gonna do that again. And we learned a lot of lessons, and a lot of things were allowed to happen. But here's the thing. The reason that Star Crew even bought everybody more time was to make digital currency. Now, I've been screaming this over here this whole time, and I'm just wondering when and if anybody's ever going to come talk to me about digital currency, Bitcoin, finance, human frequency, starseed physics, because I am the one who helped build your current Bitcoin. Remember, I was in Fortune 100 for 24 years before any of my stuff ever happened. The reason that I even ended up on a spiritual journey was because I had a successful company with a lot of contracts, and I didn't know who I was, and I had the entire Dragon Order and Illuminati come put a damn spell on my ass and steal everything. Bankrupted me, the whole 9 yards. But I was your template. And what that means is, if when I'm down here, if they can do it to me, then they're going to do it to you. And this is how we learned really, really quick. And this is why all of us that are ascended, we don't do nothing to nobody that we don't want done to ourselves. But it even isn't about us. The reason that we pulled ourselves together so quick is because, you know what we realized, guys? We realized that every single time we did something, or we allowed it to be done to us, that we were setting a program to allow it to be done to everybody else in the world. It really didn't have anything to do with us, because we starseeds, you know, and we have a habit of forgiving too easy, because we understand, because we're ancient, and so it's like, oh, I understand, your head's just a little screwy. Are you feeling better now? Are you feeling better now? I'll give you another chance. I'll give you another chance. See, it wasn't. That's not how we finally wised up. How we finally wised up is that we realized how RH negatives were made. We realized how timelines were being written on DNA races. We realized what Epstein and that mess had done to those timelines and DNA lines, and had rewritten them for the most horrible shit that you've ever seen in their life. And then in understanding all of that, then we started realizing, oh crap, what I just said. If I allow this motherfucker to come in here and treat me like this, just because I want a man around, then that means that every single other woman that's fought the fight that I have could end up with the same thing and have to deal with the same thing. How about no? I don't want to be responsible for that. No way in hell, I'll wait. And really, that's been the mindset that has got me through and standing in my honor, is because of all of you. Every single time my twin demanded more money, even though he didn't know he didn't know any of this, we weren't even in connection anymore by this time. We had merged in the etherics. We were working together, because at this point in 2020, I was being told a scoop shit of lies that the money that I was sending out for Bitcoin was going into investments that was going to help all of us get a currency set up because your dollar is dead. It's all, and that's not just dollar, your yen, your franc, whatever the fuck, whatever the hell you call any type of exchange currency and money was based on murder, pedophilia, contracts, ancient contracts on certain family lines that their wives would be murdered, buried in certain places, just like Ivana Trump's buried on a golf course now. It's because he needed her vest or torso. Speak Spanish. All your 1% elite and the financiers that have been running your money for thousands of years, hundreds of years, know what I'm telling you. It's why they're all underground right now. Hi. It shocked the crap out of all of us. Every single time that my twin started screaming for more energy. Now realize we were in the future and we were sharing a current, and this is where this thing was totally put off balance, and they had many of us bound, and for me, I'm Venus, so they constantly wanted me to create and manifest new businesses, knew this, knew that, knew this, knew that. And in the past 3 to 4 years, what was happening is every single time I do it, then it would get stolen in a higher timeline and I'd never get anything. The reason that that was happening is because my twin sacrificed me. Period. Dot. He did. He did. Which means that it happened to all of you too. Now, I don't know. Did they come to him? Now, mine's a little different because I'm always extreme on this. I'm always going to have the most extreme case. I can promise you that. Did they come to him and go, I tell you what, I'm going to give you all of this. I'm going to give you this contract. I'm going to give you this career. I'm going to give you this house. I'm going to give you this bank account. I'm going to give you credit to this. All you have to do is bind your twin to hell for the rest of existence. Maybe. Possibly. With mine, I do believe that is what happened because I believe I was there in the room when it happened because it was about 2 years ago and I heard him say, "Fuck that bitch, give me a pen." Now, mind you, I've never met this person face to face. Or is it that it was hidden in one of those entertainment contracts? Was it hidden in the insurance contract? Was it hidden in the mortgage contract? Was it written by your grandfather because this was the grandfather clause and unbeknownst to you, you were in a line that was sold out? Was it done from Scientology? Was it done from Jehovah's Witness? Was it done from Mormon? Was it, I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? All of them could be a possibility. All of them. My point is, every single time he would scream, "Give me more money," they'd come attack me. Every time. Because how does he get money? My anguish, my emotion, my creativity, my sadness, because that's how it's bound together. Now realize that we can take the other individual out of this and we can just call this our masculine side because we all have to get this. This isn't about a man versus woman thing, but it is about money. And see, I've always been, I've never had a man come take me on a vacation. I've barely had dinner bought for me. I was always the masculine. I'm a masculine feminine. It's very masculine feminine. Prince Rogers Nelson was my Gemini twin, kind of like my procession twin. We were never usually here at the same time. Wherever we did these ascensions, we came in at different times. He's the masculine feminine. He comes in first in order to show the men that you can lighten up and be feminine, and then all of us would come in that were masculine feminines to show the women, okay, you can stand up, do it on your own. My point is, I was always the man in my relationships. I bought my own house. I paid for all the men's bullshit. I lost my ass in the divorce. Like, even lost my child through this. I mean, I've been the masculine. So I don't know what it's like to be taken care of by a man. However, I can tell you that on this journey, especially in 2018, whenever I started gravitating and magnetizing all of you in, the most etheric, the women that should have been able to stabilize and pull this together with me from the RH negative groups that were around me around 2018, 2019, didn't make it. All because of money. Because they were completely chained to their men, they thought, because of it. Even though they're the most powerful manifestors whenever the energy is correct, right? So this goes both ways. And I'm not even mad at my men because I know what it feels like to have the pressure. I know what it feels like to be the breadwinner. I know. However, none of it's fucking real. What we have learned with starseed physics, I mean, realize that these death houses and all these places that I've been to get everyone out of spells and me out of spells, which has been all over the United States. Do you know that they had boxes of fake paper money underneath the floor, in the wall? You know why? Because whenever you're an activated, ascended human, whenever you get back to being real human, and your energy is activated, connected into the rest of us, your energy prints what's around. It prints what's around. So the reason they were doing it is because in their mind, if we didn't find it, then and I believe this was allowed to happen. It happened more in other timeline flips than the one that I was conscious of and walked through this last time, because we were so conscious and connected. But what I'm saying is, 10 years ago on these 10-year counts, this has been going on forever. But this is how these men and these groups would come out with all this cash. In the 80s, when I was in Bryan College Station, Texas, and they had just legalized ecstasy. And I was in College Station on top of Naziville, clone world, man. And in the 80s, the cocaine, the ecstasy, all that. The reason that it got so huge is because all of us starseeds that were in College Station, Texas, in our high school, were seeing it all the time on purpose. Our high school was nuts. It was like no other high school that I've heard of. By the time I was in junior, I mean, I knew 2 people that were doing, 10 years in federal prison for thousands of hits of X. It was normal on a weekend, and I didn't even do them most of the time. I really didn't. They wanted us to see it. They would drive up with a truckload of ecstasy, and they'd pop the trunk. They just wanted us to see it. You know why? Because if we see it, we manifest it. If they get it in our body, then they can tune others to it. Starseed physics. Now, I'm telling y'all all that because it's how money and currents are really made. It's been how it's been being made this whole time. That, with a bunch of your ancestors buried in the ground underneath it, with energy that's coming through them, that's holding you up to be able to do it. Well, we don't have that no more. We don't, I mean, it was all built off death. When you become an activated, ascended human, you no longer fit in that category. Whenever you realize that every dollar that you send out, somebody's dying for, literally, or did die for. But at the same time, in this current reality, they're still requiring you that you pay for things, right? Which is why those of us who walk this ascended journey, we had to count on people helping us, but we didn't get help most of the time, did we? All we really needed to get around was a couch. We just needed one couch. We just needed some time in your area. And, you know, it's like Jesus getting turned away from every single house, every apostle getting turned away from every single house. You know why? Because they's messing with everybody else's subconscious. And they had all the other little groups convinced that we were the problem, that we were going to bring down the money supply, that we were going to blow up the planet, that we were going to, well, it's kind of what has to be done in end days, because you built the whole world in a freaking trash chute, and you cannot build a foundation on top of a trash dump. Foundational break. We ain't doing this again. In fact, you really just can't. You can't just ascend the whole fucking human race in a planet with all these beings on it without a million years worth of cosmic energy, which is now gone. If it's not being held and connected with your human and pulling it through space in order to get it here. And that's what they were hoping that all of us would be trapped in, so that they could put out more coins. They could put out more Bitcoins. They could keep your XML, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's why I'm on here talking about this. Because these, even the conscious, you've got to understand that this is way deeper than moving into it. I mean, it's like the world thought that, oh, good, we're going through ascension. It's going to be high vibe, and it's like a new game of Monopoly. We're just going to call it something different, but we're going to keep the same energy source and then just Scrabble it. No. Would have been a lot easier. 2018, if they would have just worked with us and let us into their organizations, not stolen every single thing and forced us to become masters in every level, because it is what happened. Them not, because if we are the manifestors and you're not sending us any of whatever current you want to manifest, that means there's no more going into the market. I don't care how many dollars you print. You can print as many pieces of paper as you want it. If it doesn't have an autograph on it, it don't mean nothing but a piece of paper, correct? Has no value, has no energetic, has no energy, has no purpose. If it has no purpose, it has no reason for being here. And whether we like it or not, this is whenever we find out everything and how everything's always been done here on Earth. I don't care what country you're in. I don't care what language you speak of. When we're talking about money and we're talking about money currents, we're talking about star systems. Regulus, Fomalhaut, those are your original angelic realms, all money. It's all it was ever about to them. Money. It really is like an ocean current, a money current. You can develop any type of currency as long as you get everybody believing that it has a value and a current. Problem was, none of our money has a value anymore because the only thing it was valued off of was death and torture. You know what collateralized Bitcoin? I think I already said that on here. Cloning. Terraforming. Pedophilia. Now, I didn't do that. I, like many other starseeds, many others, because there was an entire racket of it going on. The entertainment industry was utilized. They had them all in Turkey doing this, the 7 churches. That's why you went boom shakalaka. And you had the nerve to do it on top of Tartarian infrastructure. Okay. Not a smart move, though. And they wanted us to go get cash out of our, so you got to go to the bank, or you've got to go to an ATM, then you run a transaction at a 0-point field, which we didn't realize how important that was, because we didn't realize how timelines were being written, and we didn't realize in 2020 that all timelines had been blown. So then you go and you do a timeline transaction, you get cash out, and then they wanted us all to take it to an ATM machine, bit machine. They wanted us to feed that dollar bill in, that $100 bill, whatever, and then they wanted the digital current. Then you sent them bit. Well, whenever we did that, what we did is originate the processing of that bit, not understanding how powerful we were. And what I'm seeing right now is the Matthew McConaughey Pepsi commercial on Super Bowl. I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe. Could have been last year, I don't know. But he goes in, he basically gets printed out of a Pepsi machine. Because we didn't realize how much of a vector we were living in. We didn't realize that all of our energy was magnetizing back the way it was. We didn't realize that some of us were here in order to set up a new barter system and a new currency, and we didn't realize that in 2020 it was going in stone. Basically, they did. But this is also why we're getting a redo, because it was all ununiversal law. We were lied to the whole time, and we allowed them to do it so that they could use all of their resources up, all their energy, all their resources to build their false system, so that whenever we fully activated and the realms fully merged, that they would have nothing left to fight us with, and then their system would blow, because you can't do it. You can't do it under a bunch of lies and unconscious. You can't do that. It won't hold. Especially if you didn't involve the ones that are holding the infrastructure of the creation. You can't have a creator like one of us manifest, then they come and steal it. They might be able to play with it for a while, whatever it is that you made. But whenever your energy gets to a point that you call it back in, well, you do. But all they really had to do was involve us to begin with. And that's why Spirit and God is doing it the way that it is, because you will involve us, because we're here to help you reset your system, because you don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm not talking about you, maybe you. The whole world. There ain't no way in hell You think the Illuminati knows some of this shit? Ain't no way. The Greek system? Ain't no way. You know why? Every Tuesday, they got meetings all over the colleges doing forget-me-not spells. That's why Masons write down everything. They write down everything because they come in and do this crazy-ass shit. Marble Collegiate Church. They come in and do this crazy-ass crap, right? And then they white light themselves. And they wipe everybody else so that they can go on their merry, ignorant way and forget about who they just sent to hell. Sound familiar? So do you think they know what I'm telling you? No. Not all of it. No way. Just like we don't know all of what they've been doing, but on the spiritual side, I know a damn lot about starseed physics and currents. Donald Trump used the Starseed Collective and basically is laundering money from Bank of America into gold coins, but Bank of America is the bank account that they had me open in California in 2020 with Carlos. And then close it immediately after. But every single time that I would go set up a bank account, as soon as I walked in, the computers would shut down. Computers would shut down. The person would have to get somebody to come get a manager, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's because, I mean, me specifically, I have all these internet codes and I have all these C codes because I had the original tech system, right? And so we're writing the story. So whenever you go into the bank and then the system shut down and they've got to put your stuff in, it's resetting a lot for you to open up that account. All of the energy that was associated with you opening up that account, because your energy shut down the system to change, we didn't get any of it. The finance got all of it. And they liked it. It's like for the longest time in 2020 and 2021, because I was made by the government, they were testing me. They were testing to see if it worked. In 2020, they were testing to see if starseeds, how we did, what energy we made, how they could contain it. They really were. They were testing us. Well, it worked. Everything that we had been coming in and talking about and all the research and stuff that they had and everything, right? Because all of us we have access to anything that's in the computer. Anything. Not from a computer, but we have access to pull it. So once they figured out it worked, because I mean the whole financial system and the color coding, how many numbers are in all the accounts, how a corporate account has different digits than a personal account, and all the banks, and what geogrid they're on, and what corner they're on, and who's in bed with who, and who's borrowed money from this bank to pay off this bank because none of them have money. None of them had money. They take your money and then they give your money out. They lease your money. You put your money in the bank and then they turn around and give your money to somebody else to make more money. But nobody really, for a really long time, I mean, you don't go into the bank and go, show me your vault. I want to see all the gold that's backing my money. Or I want to see, well, we should start because there isn't any. Is not there. There hasn't been money for a long time. Why do you think Biden's sending all ours to other countries? But where is it made from? On top of a Masonic financial machine called the United States of America? That part. So it's like the masculines, and then the whole time that we were being traumatized because we're dealing with subconscious programs, and we were dealing with them first as tribulation. And then we're connected to not just our twins or the masculines, but our families or whatever else, you know, and they're going, why don't you have any money? Or go get a job or blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I can't. Or I mean, I know I tried for a little bit in California. Like, we literally couldn't because we weren't allowed to go back into the system, number one. Number two, you've probably already spent all of our money, like, from that lifetime in another dimension. Like, because it really was set that way. If your lifetime was taken or sacrificed, then that means you have no life. You have no timeline. You literally were cut from Pluto. You're not. It's like you weren't here. That's why we became star seed. That's what ascended is. You have to claim your old lifetimes so that you can put it together in a stew to create a new one. But the way they were doing it was stealing all your life. Like, as soon as you claimed it, then they'd steal them again. And then you're supposed to be the one that everyone's funneling money through or healing through or whatever it is in order to generate it, because we're ancients and we're the generators, but nobody's giving us anything but hell. We're real good at cleaning hell, though, aren't we? We're real good at cleaning carbon and dense and dark space. And that is the part that they had no idea was possible. And since they wouldn't listen, and since they discarded all of us and saying that we're crazy and this and this and that, even though the only reason they said it is because they didn't want to have to change. They didn't want to change. Well, we didn't want to change either. You really don't have a choice. We're the feminine. We're the Sumerian gods, if you want to call it that. We're your ancients. That we're all part of setting up the system that you currently are running. Obviously. Because as soon as we pulled out of it, it no running. But yet, you don't want to listen. Okay. Then everybody's going to lose everything. And it's just going to be the way it's going to be. Other thing is, you really can't change a whole lot right now. Meaning, for those who like the government and all of those things, no matter the dark nights, the dark forces, whatever the fuck, everything that they did was written. It's already been done. It's already been written. Well, whenever you're writing pure etheric timelines, you might have written it 2 to 3 years ago. You were used as a template producer to write it. That's why they had it moving around in front of you. But their intention wasn't for it just to happen to you. The intention, if they were using you to write timelines, was for it to run across the masses. Well, so then your experience might have happened 2 to 3 years ago, and it might have just been you and a group of people around you. And so you understand the scene, you know the movie, but it's just now hitting the main stage 2 to 3 years later because it was used as a mass consciousness collective perspective. Now that works good and bad. The bad news is, that's Aaron. You can't change it. If you were in a relationship or you had, and every single person screwed you over and nobody showed up, and then they get to the end and they're like, oh crap, we screwed up. We should have went and met her. Let me just go meet her real quick. No, don't work like that. It don't work like that. Now, everything that you did to us, you've got to walk for the next couple of years before you can even get back on the phone with me. And it has nothing to do with me or you. Because this is ascension. This is universal law. This is what everybody needs to freaking really understand. Us starseeds ain't doing shit. We ain't doing nothing to nobody. We're following what we're here for. We're remembering how things work. And that is it. Whatever you do to one of us, we don't ever even know. Unless somebody dies, somebody gets killed, you lose all your money, you fucking lose your legs, you get run over by a snowblower, whatever. Your car jumps, your electric car, what was Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller, had a little Anne Hesh moment, but this time nobody died. Electric car, stop at a stoplight, all of a sudden it just revs up. He gears out of the way because his car's supposedly taking off without him driving it. And he runs into the women's bathroom at the pizza parlor. At Hollywood Drive in La Ria. Black Magic and Heshmuch got in a cosmic chain. He was holding some type of starseed energy that wasn't his, and he got in the wrong person's snail slug lane. And now the car literally just took over. But we've known that for a while. Our energy controls the mechanics in the computers easier than it controls the humans. The humans, with what they think is free will, is the problem. But us starseeds, see, we learned this a long time ago. If you're an RH negative, you fucking learned this a long time ago. Because karma, you ain't had no karma until you've been ascended, or all of us that were RH negatives understanding how universal law works. Oh, well, thank you for saying I'm cute. We do have answers, and we do have plans, and this is the Starseed Collective. This is the smartest people on the planet, the ones that are your top ascended, we're all network, all of us with our pieces. We know what's coming. We know how it's going to work. It's going to be amazing. It is. However, until people start working together and all of us start creating these currents and start feeding energy into each other, it ain't ever gonna happen. We can't sit in our boxes. You can't go make a movie, you can't go build a bank, you can't build a corporation, you can't do any of those things alone. You have to work together. You start up by building it in consciousness. You start up by doing what I'm doing right now and talking about it. And then it manifests quickly. It doesn't have to take long. But all of us have to understand that this is all physics-based. It's a balance. It's what it is. It's not emotional. It's not he did it, she did it. There's no blame. There's none of that. It's physics with a bunch of bubbles inside a big ass fucking bubble, with now another bubble forming separate like a little cancer on its side right now in order to give the toddlers a place to figure it out in their playpen. But that little playpen over here with the toddlers is about 90% of the human race. On New Earth and in New Energy Physics, and what I know about how even Cohue 32, which is your etherics, because it is the color codes of financials. I mean, realize that what Cohue 32 is the new finance system. And it's the instructions on how to get yourself tuned up to be able to maneuver in it, literally. And each one of those should have a current. And each one of those could have some type of coin or whatever we want to call it, but it's not based on human slavery, this, and that. No, it's based on different projects, and I'm not going to get into it because this is how they set up BIT. I wrote the fucking paper on it. I gave it to him like a dumbass, not realizing who I was giving it to. So none of us are going to manifest anything until we have a foundation and we're stabilized with enough of us ascended that are working together, that know what we're doing for a common cause. And even just all of us knowing, even if there's 10 of us, 5 of us, whatever it is, working together, understanding the processes, being conscious about it and building it and guarding it, will anything else grow from it? Now, as soon as that happens and the energy starts coming in any way, then it'll start building, make a current. I really don't know how it's all going to pan out, you know, in the next couple of years. I try not to think about it. I know that in a way, you know, I mean, we're building our characters. We're coming back into reality, because a lot of us weren't even in reality. We weren't written in. We had been killed out. Our lives had been taken. Oh, I forgot I've got service, please, from the Madonna Hotel over here. We have all these little tricks on how we manifest things because we didn't have anything. And that's why we didn't have anything, because we had to remember how to build without anything. We had to remember how to somebody sends you $20, you can end up making $200 with it. And it's just by it being in your field. Yeah, I'm not even talking about taking that $20, buying a bunch of erasers and going and selling erasers. I'm talking about as soon as those currents start coming in, then it's like how can I keep that going to where it's still coming in? I'm not changing what I'm doing. It's more like an energy current that gets attached to your system, and then it builds. It's how I built a $3 million company in 3 years, because I basically was processing money. Everybody got rich. It's the way it should be. If you're a human, it's what you want. You want to be working with us. If you're a lizard reptile from Tartarus, you want to be working for them. So sure, go buy your XML, XFSL, QVR, blah, blah, whatever the hell it is. Sure, go put your money in an alphabet soup program run by Babylon, and good luck. Go make your vodka. What are you going to do whenever nobody has any money to buy vodka? What are you going to do when there's no glass? What are you going to, what are you going to do when there's no shipping? I mean, everything down here has to be reworked. Everything. That's why it's a Renaissance period. And our masculines are going to have to learn that you have to work with your feminine. And I'm talking about the feminine in yourself. Because what is so absolutely nuts about this is that those of us that are powerhouses like this, right, and realize that anybody that's a twin of ours is us from another dimension. So they're equally as powerful, but in different ways. Since most of us were sacrificed and we lived, really, the past couple of years, we were only projections. So I really want you to think about this. And this is for anybody who was doing black magic. You did it to yourself. And I don't even mean return to sender, because we didn't even have to do return to sender. Because listen to what I'm telling you, and I'm going to end right after this. Unless y'all have some questions, I'll look. Oh, thank you. It was really cheap, too. It was Sally Hansen. I got it at Kroger. It's Sally Hansen. It's this, like, bright purple. I just painted him tonight. Thank you. I was feeling the Royal Star vibes, the Archangel vibes. I had to do purple. Keep it on me. Purple's all your archangels have purple. So FYI, if you want to deck yourself out in purple for a minute, all these color stuff really works. I got green on. Alchemy, magic, body magic, green and yellow. Green. I do it subconsciously. It's so funny. We weren't really here. Now, this is how we stayed alive, number one. Because what we did is because all these spells and everything that they did with all this black magic, all this mess for the past 2-3 years, all of it was being done where? Really in the ethers, in the subconscious, in the ethers. And then it was supposed to come down and land down here. They wanted us to start dying. They wanted us to start doing this, and this, whatever it was. Well, since we were the 144,000, since this was last days, since we had all connected and got our cosmic energy source back, had to change the bloodline to get out of it, because the whole world was just doing blood spells on each other. Literally. Is nuts. So this is why we had to change the blood. And this is where the Bible comes in, and that's and not that it's a religious thing, but because it's astronomy. When we untuned our blood, because once we did it, remember that it was always done, because there is no time. So and I know this is a little, but once your blood is changed, it's changed down the line forever in what you'd consider past or the future. So when we changed the blood, which happened August 2022, it's why it took us a little bit longer. It's why the last year, 15 months has been completely fucking hell. It's because we had to change our blood. But when I explain to you why we did it, I'm sure you're going to love us for it. And then the last 15 months ain't going to feel as bad. Because what we did was untune ourselves from all the sacrifices across on the family line forever. It never happened, ever. The first time. It never happened, not even the first time. So that also means there's no collateral Mason baby that's getting sold off, holding up the finance from even 10 years ago. It's a mind. Bloop, 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 bloop. Now, remember, since we did that, every single spell that they were sending was just kind of in this layer of energy that didn't get to us and didn't get to them. It was like this stagnant, and that's what we've been feeling these past few weeks, and that's what's been blowing off the sun. And that energy is what we just blew a portal to Alpha Draconic. We did. The Delta. We blew the Delta. And Alpha Draconic, now, all of those DNA curses are gone. The only reason that the reptilians were doing what they were doing is because it's how it started. They didn't know any other way, blah, 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 blah. Realize that your body is, you've got a third eye because of reptilians. They're mixed into our identity as a human the same way as your original Moravian queens or whatever the hell, your Neanderthals, even Zeta Reticuli is mixed into your DNA now. Now you've got cloning DNA mixed into it now, every single one of us, because it's been done to humans down here, and it's part of your template structure. But we ascended the entire Alpha Drac race. That's what the new race is. We're a new race of it all high vibed up. That's why you have to get your energy frequency up in order to activate these different brain sequences so you can turn on your right and left brain so that you can create and manifest. They didn't want you to do that. The whole thing was set up so you couldn't do that. Well, we blew a hole in this Cocker Spaniel. There is no more balls holding you to anything. Domes. There's no place tying you down. You're not in a tree. You really don't have to ground. And to be honest, the ground that you think that you're standing on really isn't there in the way that you think it is in this moment of reality right now, because of where we're at in ascension. Now, all that being said, for all of us who have walked through tribulation and are now readjusting, knowing what we know, holding strong on what we do know, not going backwards into these false reality settings, and working together, which is the next part. We've got to start working together more. That's the only thing that the dark side had that all of us conscious didn't, is a group. And it's not even our fault, because the way that we were having to clear and the energy was so intense as it came in, and we were clearing all, and we were having to break all these curses and undo all these family blah, 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 blah. So it's like every single thing that happened the way it happened needed to happen, but now it doesn't need to happen anymore. You know, in the old energy, which I'm talking just the past couple of years, we literally couldn't gather in a group and make a group if a group wasn't made before in time, because that's how precisely it was all written. So it's like we couldn't, if you didn't build a company, or you didn't have a job that you were around 30 or 40 people every day and working together in a group, and you were a lead and you were we couldn't have even done it, because we were walking through old timelines. We were healing old timeline stuff. You know, it literally, if you didn't do it before, then you couldn't do it at that point. Plus, we were walking through past stuff, old, 1700, 1200, 1100. Blah. Well, now we don't have that excuse. Now it's time for us to start working together, each of us having our leadership, each of us having our responsibility, working together in groups, not just to clear consciousness and heal each other, but to actually build in reality and start teaching each other how each of us manifest and how we manifest in a group, so that then we can turn on those powers within each other. Because let me tell you, what we can do will blow your freaking mind. I mean, I know that I came out of the sun 2 days ago. If you go watch my what the human body is capable of, I mean, and we know that because of all hell that broke loose whenever we tried to get out, and what they did to try to keep us down, including this right here. I'll add that because it's what this bump is. And you might get, and I don't want you to manifest it if you don't have implants, but if you're one like me, they had them in the eyelashes. And so when that energy breaks, because you'll get them other places. See, I've got scars right here because I had them, because my face was in a trap on another dimension, and I was hooked into things on each side of my face like this, and 2 barrels in my neck. So when that charge from the inside of your body is cut, whether it's cut from the outside or inside, then a pus pocket or something might arise so that you can feel it, because they're really small. So if you feel into your eyebrows and you all of a sudden feel like a little, it's not even a pimple, it just kind of starts coming up and it's harder there and it hurts, it might be what one of these is. And what it normally is, man, it is the size of a piece of glitter. Let me tell you. Talk about nano. It is the size of a piece of glitter, but it is a little bitty disc that goes in like a CD player. And that's why you have to use tweezers to get it out, because you got to dig in there and find it, and you got to pull it straight out, because it'll be set in just like it's a CD player. But if you notice, there's a lot of people that don't have eyebrows, or their eyebrows don't grow, or they have a scar where their eyebrow is. That means that they're getting reset, right? Because they have so many disc implants that have been put in over so much time. So anyway, I wanted to add that because that's why that's going on. So some of you might be having it. The other ones, I've pretty much gotten rid of all the other stuff that was in me, except for this has popped up. And then I've had little bitty ones come right here, and they're always in the hairline. That's the tricky part. They're always in the hairline, you know, because it's so fine and they're so small. But if you start feeling just a little bump and it hurts, then get it out. Get it out. Because it is just one little bitty block in your energy current is what it is. It has a little block in your energy current. So anyway, to all my masculines, and I'm just putting it out there to the world, to all the beings of this universe, we ask you to come work with us now. We have offered, and we have already set for the entire human race as your angelics, as your starseeds, as your ancients, and some of us for millions of years, some of us for thousands of years, most of us that are watching this channel, at least thousands of years. We came before each and every one of the humans that are walking on the planet that we stand on with them now, and we have given them the gift of life. We have all sacrificed. We have all been through the worst hell, been treated like dog shit badly. And we did it all without asking for anything but respect, courtesy, because we did it in honor and we did it in support for the human race. And because of us, and you cannot say this isn't true, because of what we've done, everybody on this planet's going to be able to live. And no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, you have a route and you have a timeline to get out because of what we came before them to do. And now we command that they stand with us. We command that our consciousness and those abilities and that thought process and those solutions, and even to the extent where we command the reality to shut them down if they're coming up against us in any way. But we do now command that you stand with us, and we command your support, and we command fairness and balance for the time that we put in, because we know that you don't have the money to pay, and it's not what you want. It's not what we want. We don't want your dirty money. We want your support. We want your couch. We want to come work with you to build a new earth, and we want to build empires now. True ones. True ones in the new physics. We're ready to do things that have never been done before. We're all quadrillionaires. We really are. Each one of us can be a quadrillionaire. We really can. Not in that old system. In our system, everybody should be walking around in $1,000 shoes. And it's possible for it to happen. And that's what we ask for support. And we do that by healing the collective. We do that by all the modalities and everything that we have now. Because the more humans that are hewed up and tuned up, the bigger the current. And if the corporations, and if the government, and if all these different people don't support healing, there's not any money. Literally. So if y'all know people that have a little bit of money and they want to plant seeds into the future instead of leaving it in the bank and watching it go down the drain, attached to old crap and death, then find one like me. Because we can do it on practically nothing. We just need the support. I love y'all. Thanks for being here for me to talk to. I've been feeling like a caged animal, really, the past couple of days. I know that that's going to get better. But right now, we're just going through all this Scorpio stuff and this merger. I'll add here at the end, I know everybody's talking about the possibility of the white flash event. And from what's happened with me the past 2 days, and knowing about the G-Core and Ceres and all the things that we've been putting together in the last 3 or 4 days, a white flash event I feel is definitely coming. It literally just is all of us connecting to cosmic source, because there's over 5 million of us now connected into, well, the 144,000 is hardcore entrenched in at least 5 million, which is affecting 5 billion, because that's how it works. And so all of us connecting to that charge, and our bodies are, because we just connected into that, a stronger source charge 2 days ago. And you know what, guys? We didn't even take 10%. We didn't even take 5%. In fact, whenever you look at it on Lasco C2, it started blowing the whole thing out, and we pulled it back. It just blew it up enough to pull it back. If ever we need any more power, trust, we can go get it. No problemo. The harder part is bringing it in, all of us acclimating it, being able to hold it into the body and function. Because the past couple of days since we pulled in this ray, I don't know about y'all, I've had headaches, I've been dizzy. Because we really did rewrite the mind program as well. All of those lifetimes and all the healing stuff that everyone's been doing, and these timelines that I talked about, then the lifetimes that had been taken from us, those new stories and those new realities are also starting to come in. So the body's having to get used to the processing of it. And we're just now disconnecting an entire, anybody who has asked for it or healing of any is starting to be disconnected from their C3 spine. So that other system is going to tank quick. Meanwhile, we're bringing in cosmic energy, and then we're balancing it out and making sure that we can hold it, and then we'll be bringing in more and more and more and more. The body stuff from the 3rd to the 9th. So from today until the 9th is the dates that I've known where it's just be kind to yourself. Don't push it. If you don't have to do anything, don't make yourself do it. Spend this next 6 days healing, because the transits are ripe for it. And we won't have a transit like this again for a couple of years. This transit and where everything's set up and what's going on right now is literally like going and getting your brain reset on a higher function, to where you just know it's just there, and all that mess that we've had to remember, and all the netting and this connection and all these things that we've been having to do to stay alive in order to project, and all this masonry and all this crap that we had to relearn and remember so that we could do our little dance to get out of it, all that's being wiped, because space has to be cleared to hold new information. So right now it's really like we're all getting our hard drive wiped and reloaded the next 6 days, and then between now and the 11th. I love y'all, and thank you for being a cool audience. And this Grace Aquarius, mine is on the right side. Yeah. It's really interesting, and you'll figure out kind of if you're more in balance with the sun or more in balance with the moon, or how your body balances by coming through all of these things as well, because it's happening slow. The right side of my body, for like as soon as I did that whole sun maneuver 2 days ago, it wasn't just me, it was me and my adopted dad Al woke up with, but we've been healing him from like the military side. Our right arm, oh my god, it hurt so bad. I couldn't even move it. But what was nuts is by the end of the day, after I had come on and did a live here, I came on and did that. I had to stay up till like after 4 that night because I was on guard for the collective. But by the time I went to bed, it had shifted to my left side. Your right side is the sun. Your left side is the moon. So it's like it had just energetically shifted. It was nuts. It was like, okay, well, whatever we were done doing with the sun, I feel like that's done now. Now it's moved over to this side. But this also, pay attention to what side it is coming, because it's right left brain function, and it crosses, but you've got, because your right brain is going to operate your left eye, is going to operate your right jaw, is going to operate your left delt, is going to operate your right heart, is going to operate right, and then to the right ovary. Boom, 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 boom. So pay attention to that as well, because if it's a lot on the left side, then it's probably, overactive. You might be overactive on the right. Too much feminine. Okay, well, I need to be a little bit more masculine right now. I mean, even to that extent. The dizziness and the nausea is normal. I know a lot of us are having that, and you're just forgetting, like you're losing your thoughts. It's normal for right now because we unpulled the planet. And we no longer have a pole where we're all just like a horsey carousel with a whole bunch of beings that are running our brain, because it really was working like that. It really was. This is why it had to be blown up. A lot is going to change with the body, because a lot of even body parts that we have right now, we don't need. Or they're too big, or the organ's too small, or it's too big, or whatever, because of how it was made and how it was being sustained down here. So there's going to be so many changes over the next 5 years in what we learn about the human body, and how it can change, and what it's going to change into to be more efficient. Appendix is a great example. Arms. And when your arms start hurting, because in a lot of us, because we were Earth, or we were star systems, or whatever, we were holding, we were stretched, and we were holding things in the etherics, and your inner, and also we were all linked together, holding hands in a way. And I guess the best way to put it, because what I'm seeing is like metal gloves on our hands, to where the energy can't come out your fingers. So what I'm being shown is to remember to take some deep breaths, some dragon breaths even, and then just consciously open up all the pores in your energy field and on your body, and let it flow out. And even taking your arms and, you know, like consciously allow that energy to throw it out of your hands. Because if whenever your body's making a bunch of energy, if you're not utilizing it, it'll back up. Kind of like, that's been the hardest part for me. The hardest part for me is being so powerful and then not having anything to do. And for those of us that have been leaders in this, or especially if you're like me and you're like, happen to be like this shadow hunter, and you have the ability to undo this magic, and you because what'll end up happening is the collective magic spell will end up concentrating around one like me that knows how to get us out of it. But until it sets, it's like you've got to let it build on top of you, and the whole time it's setting, it's getting closer to you, you're sourcing the power from it. And so you're getting more powerful, and you're getting more powerful, and you're getting more powerful, but you can't really do anything that much. And it will make your body hurt. But just doing those little breathing exercises, and then mastering that, and imagine your body flowing, you know, with the figure eights and stuff, and through space and all that. But I'm talking about really, because our power, man, our cosmic power is so strong. But I'm really proud of us, because I know most of us, and I know for myself, I'm proud of myself, because I don't act like I used to at all. 2020, 2021, I've learned how to, even whenever I get mad, I don't get mad like I used to, because it doesn't take much to make a change. It's more, it's almost like a power setting on the inside, and that's what being the one undoing these spells has taught me, is how to harness it and wait. Because what we do is we harness, and then, because subconsciously we know when it's going to end. So we'll harness it until that timeline lines up that the spell's being sent. And then it's like as soon as anybody makes a move energetically for us, or it starts to set from what they've done before, hold back. But until then, that's I think that's what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told that we're all feeling right now, because I'm getting it right now as I'm talking. It's like a backup. It's like an energy backup, even for myself. So that's, when I hang up, I'm going to have to do the same thing that I'm telling y'all right now. Left for 2 days and then switch. See? And this is AB negative. That's what AB negative always was the sun and the moon in alignment. And double simian was the sun and moon in alignment in the body. And basically that's what everybody, it's the final stage that we go through is diamond. That's why the chart's such a trip right now with 2 diamond back standoff, because the top like basically the diamond program and becoming a diamond is the final ascension layer, and nobody had ever passed it before. But only one of us had to, in order for all of us to get diamond status. That's why my company that they stole was called GIA Technology. Now I know. I named it subconsciously. I didn't even know that it was, I didn't even know Gaia was a thing whenever I named it. This is back in 2009. But GIA Technology was the moon contracts that then we were able, because since they stole it, I could utilize all of it. So basically I've been utilizing the people that stole my company's power and money and all of their resources without meeting any of them, talking to any of them. That's why and how I became so powerful within business and all of that, besides my Bellatrix placement. But as far as from proving it in 3D, is because they stole it. If they steal it, then you're able to utilize it without it in your presence. Which is how Cohue 32 basically had an infrastructure to link into, because we've been utilizing, I mean, it's how we did this. If they would have allowed me to build it, then I would have had to like market it, build it, get it out to everybody, blah, 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 blah. But realize, if something was taken from you, and when I hang up, I'm going to have to think about this from a couple of other different perceptions. If they take something from you, then it's available to you to utilize, even if it's not in front of you, in the ethers, to create. That part. It's how we did it. It's nuts. Universal law is a trip. I love y'all. I'll be back on here soon. Give me a thumbs up, please. I'm trying to get this stuff going again, because we're going to start doing some cool stuff with the brand. And reach out to me if you're interested in being a part of that. I would love to talk to some of y'all. And the brand really is got 2 levels. There'll be just the pieces that, you know, people liking the products and utilizing them and learning how to manifest with them and how to help your reality and help your family and da-da-da-da-da with the data and the stuff that we're putting out. And then there's also a whole bunch of y'all that we're going to start doing more training on. Because if you're dealing with any type of people, if you're a massage person, man, if you're a healer, like whatever. And I'm not saying come over to Cohue 32 and be a teacher forever. Not at all. It's more like train the trainer. Come over and learn it for a minute, because as soon as you do and take it back into whatever modality your specialty is, oh shit balls. That's whenever you're going to really start cooking with Crisco. Because really all this does is put in your consciousness, it's like labeling your exactly, authority, your etheric field, your aura. Once you understand this, Anybody that walks up into it, you don't even have to look at their chart. You feel that energy and you know how to talk to them and you know where they're coming from. And if you have teams, if any of y'all work at small businesses or you've got teams that are open to new ways of doing things, call me, email me. It's officialChastiaCav. I'll put it on here. Or you can go to the website connect@cohu32.com, because the amount of creation that you can get out when your team's hued up and how it works with a bunch, just everybody knowing their energy sources and everybody kind of understanding what they're naturally good at, and other people on the team seeing what everyone's naturally good at. Oh man, you get what used to take 3 years takes 3 months. And you're consciously tuned, you're dreaming about your projects, you're sending dreams, you're telepathically connected to your people. Like, it's a trip whenever you tune up a group. Every small company. I mean, really, I know this is going to replace human resources at some point for small companies, especially in consciousness, because and schools. I mean, oh my God. If y'all know any app developers that want to get involved, I've got about a 5-day project that'll promise will yield resources as well. I love y'all. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. I feel better, and I'll talk to you soon.